What's going on, people? Today I'm doing a video in response to a thread on the spyderco forums, and the video is on grip discussion. Now, a lot of people have various ways of understanding what's the proper way to grip a knife. Should I follow the grooves and choils? Should I not? What makes sense, what doesn't? I'm here just to throw my hat in terms of, examples of how I utilize a knife, and that not everything is set in stone how you're supposed to grip a particular knife. Now, the first grip I'm going to go with, because I have two here and they utilize two different grips. There's two different grips that I utilize with these two, and I also have other examples. Now, the first grip I'm going to go with is the box fist grip. Now, with the box fist grip, I'm not actually gripping it I'm not wrapping my fingers all the way around the knife, because ultimately with knife handles like this one that are a bit boxy tend to be uncomfortable if you try to grip it like something more contoured like the Spyderco Shaman. So what I utilize is the box fist grip. So with the box fist grip, I'm applying most of the grip pressure with my index finger, and then the pressure recedes as I go down. That way, when I'm really bearing down on something, it's not gonna hurt me in any way. I mean, yes, I could put more bearing on through the pinky finger and the index finger at the same time, where it's more sturdy in the hand, but at the same time, if I'm really bearing down on something, some tough material, it's not going to work out as well, where I'm still comfortably cutting after a certain period of time. So usually just utilize index finger. You see how the face of my fist is lined with the edge of the blade. And with this grip, I'm not actually, once again, not wrapping my fingers around. I'm just simply laying them flat, if I didn't mention that earlier. And it does leave some space in between, but for the most part, this is a grip that I'm very comfortable with for boxier handles in particular. Now, another example that I would utilize the box fist grip is something a lot thicker, right? This is a very thick blade. The blade stock itself is 0.31 inches thick, and you can imagine how much thicker the handle is. I mean, here's the Spyderco Shaman compared to that, and here's the Medford Praetorian Genesis compared to that. But yeah, it's a much higher handle, has much more girth, but again, it's a boxier handle. So I'm utilizing that same grip, and the only difference is with this one, because of how thick the handle is, I'm actually generating an equal amount of pressure with the grip across all my fingers because of how girthy it is. I don't actually need that central control like with the Medford Genesis, where I just have one finger utilizing the most pressure and the rest is mainly for stability. With this one, because of how thick the handle is, I can use the box fist grip the same way, but I could generate that same equal amount of pressure all the way along, and I'm not using that much pressure because, again, it's actually a girthy handle, so you're not needing to really bear down on that grip, right? So there's that. The next type of grip that I'm utilizing for particular knives, this one is, I already mentioned it, it's Spyderco Shaman. You notice that the handle has a certain level of height, certain level of girth, and is contoured along what used to be its edges. Now, the next grip I'm utilizing is what I call the four knuckle grip. It's where the blade basically basically sits in the crook of your foreknuckle. Now, sometimes it's a little off. I have it set off a little bit, and sometimes I just actually set it all the way. And with this grip, with Spyderco Shaman, where the grooves and everything is, how contoured it is, how thick it is. Now, I could do the same thing that I did with that previous knife, where I could generate equal amount of pressure all the way across, And again, not because I can do that with this particular knife, with this particular ergonomics, I'm still, once again, not having to have to use like that bear down pressure, right? Because I can have all fingers generate that equal amount of force in grip, and that's where this next grip comes in for the shaman in particular. Right now, it's much easier to with this comfortable grip is much easier with the shaman because it's contoured, it's ergonomically designed in the best way possible, where you can almost cannot go wrong with like your standard grip, like wrap around finger grip. And that's another thing with the 4-knuckle grip, is that you can actually, in this particular case, I can actually wrap my fingers around. So that's where more of the security comes in, and with the equal amount of force with the grip going along each finger, all equal amounts, being able to wrap my fingers around, not really gonna have any worries about this thing slipping out of my hand, so I don't need that bear down pressure. Alright, next one for this particular 4-knuckle grip is the Rake P31 Sf. Now this one is even more slender, much more slender handle. You can see it right here compared to the shaman. You can see the thickness compared to the shaman. It's a very slender handle, and that's where this grip comes in even more so. I wouldn't want to use that box fist grip, because then I'm getting all the edges, because of how slender this knife is, all the edges are poking at the fat of my palm, at the fat of my fingers, and yeah, it's just not comfortable. But with the 4-knuckle grip, I can actually, and because of how slender the handle is, I'm not actually wrapping my fingers all the way around. I'm actually just using this particular grip where I just lay them flat. Yeah, with this, it sits near the crook of the hand, near the crook of my 4 knuckles comfortably, and where it sits here, I'm still getting that bear down force, where I'm having the pressure equally across, because for the most part the hand is just kind of hugging it. It's not really like strangling it, it's just hugging it. And just go across like this. Comfortable grip, no hot spots, nothing. Just comfortable cut. And yeah, this thing's still freshly sharp from the last time I sharpened it. I never really took it out afterwards. But yeah, that's a grip. That's the 4-knuckle grip right there in action. Next one I want to bring up, which was one of the ones that was brought up in the grip discussion in the Spyderco forums. The Spyderco Reinhold Rhino. Now, you had people like talking about how, oh, there's 3 grooves, there's three notches for 3 fingers, so it's a 3-finger knife. You know, basically saying that it's a 3-finger knife, no doubt. And yeah, yes, it's designed that way, but that doesn't mean that's the end all be all way, right? Like me, for example, I don't actually use the 3-finger grip much at all. In fact, my primary grip is having all 4 fingers on there, again utilizing the 4-knuckle grip that I'm discussing. And the whole thing with this is, like, you know, I'm not once again not wrapping my fingers around in this particular case, because the handle's just a bit too narrow. So I'm not wrapping my fingers around it, more so just doing the same thing, just clasping, laying them flat. As you can see, it got a little bit of space right here. I'm not sitting actually like the peaks. You see the peaks right here, but the whole thing is, because of this particular grip, how I'm utilizing it, the peaks do not bother me. So just because you see a choil or a notch or a finger notch doesn't necessarily mean you have to absolutely follow it, right? And same thing with the others. I'm just comfortably cutting. Oops. Well, this thing does need a resharpen, but just like that. And there's no discomfort. That's the whole thing. Like, look where my pinky's sitting, and like it's sitting right over here. And of course, if I'm like really going up, like I have them all sitting there. If I'm really putting it really up close, now I'm hugging. Now I'm having my fingers like actually hug it a little closer, where there's no space in between. They're actually all sitting on there. But once again, the way the grip is designed, like the way the grip is practiced, I'm not having any discomfort. Like 4 fingers all on there. Like the peaks aren't, I'm not sitting directly on the peaks. They're not like, well, I'm sitting on them, but not in a way where it's really digging into my hand. Okay, go for those close-up cuts. No problem. Once again, this blade still needs to be resharpened, but yeah. Simple. No discomfort, and like other than the fact that the blade's a little bit dull, so I have to utilize a little bit more pressure. But yeah, that's a very minute discomfort, and that's literally due to the fact that this blade needs to be resharpened. Alright, here's another example here for the 4-knuckle grip. You have this is the little native, right? And here was another discussion on the Spyderco forums, like talking about these like, oh, sitting behind the index sitting behind the index choil. Oh, I have no use for that. Da 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 da. You know, I don't see, like, that's unnatural to me, so on and so forth. And then you see a grip like this, 4-knuckle grip, sit behind there. Yes, the pinky's hanging off, but now you see something different. Notice how my fingers are now wrapping around the thing. I still have some space in between, but now you see my fingers wrapping around it. But now you see the blade sitting this way, canted. So now I'm no longer having to do like drags or anything like that. And of course, it's also good for like if you have a bellied knife, a drop point knife, or a leaf-shaped blade, as opposed to a Warncliffe to open boxes. This particular grip right here on a small knife, you can have the tip right there without actually like having your hand having to go all the way over. But yeah, utilizing this grip, having the blade canted, to simply just go down. There's no need for dragging the cut or slicing, any slicing motion. Another good example for this is, and now we're getting into something a little bit different, because here's another, the dragonfly. Once again, people talking about, oh, I don't see no reason to sit behind the index choil. And once again, I have that kind of semi-pistol grip going on here. And because of the groove in the dragonfly's handle, it's even more canted than it was with the little native. And now you see. Oop. Crunching up the cardboard here. Let me get another one. Yeah. Oh baby. And you see with the like you can see through the camera right here. It's like I'm not slicing. Because of the blade being canted, it just literally, the material just feeds into the blade. Just feeds into it, almost like a hawkbill blade. You know. And there you go. Once again, same grip, 4-knuckle grip for these more slender handles, whereas the thicker, boxier, taller handles utilize the box fist grip that I showed earlier. But yeah, you see that, and you know, then there's other grips too. Other grips like simply, look, this, oh, looks unnatural. Don't know how you can like cut efficiently like this. You like, you know, it's like, oh, it's unnatural. But once again, it's the same. It's kind of like you know, it's the 4-knuckle grip, but in a way where you're hugging like the blade in a different way. Now you're going up, and I'm just gonna push the box forward because like I don't want to drag it into like the camera in the stand here. But yeah, it's like I'm just feeding the blade, just feeding the blade. All right, let me put that pinch in the same way, but now I'm like now it's there. Now it's a different way. All right. And the final piece for this grip discussion is the Spyderco McB, the ultimate two-finger blade, two-finger folding knife. Now with this, you've seen in my previous video, it was that same thing where it's like, okay, you can grip it this way, you can grip it this way, and then I have my one of my other grips, the seatbelt strap, and basically when I'm utilizing that, I'm not actually focusing on wrapping the index finger around it and then crushing, using crushing pressure. I'm actually keeping it a little loose because I want the blade to not to move around per se, but to have some level of slack. So when I'm cutting, it's not there. I don't have any moments where it just digs into my hand. All right, it's like just comfortable. Pinch grips. This one needs to be sharpened as well, but yeah. Look where I'm sitting right here. It's that 2.5. That little this particular grip that I have going on here. Hitting a 2.5. And again, that's like more of the 4-knuckle grip that I was discussing. But yeah, those are my examples. I just wanted to put this video out here because I know it was like, if I tried to go on the Spyderco forums and write type everything in, I mean, you see how long the video is, so yeah, you can imagine how long that novel would be for my response to it. Anyways, people, I hope you enjoyed the video. Y'all have yourselves a good day, and I'm out.